Hey guys, we're back for round 2, and I'm joined here with a very special guest. Meet my brand new co-host, Denton X. How are you doing, Denton X?
I'm doing pretty good after watching your associate get sent to the Shadow Realm. I think it's high time that somebody stepped up.
Unfortunately, my sources say that we did in fact lose Shmiki today. Rest in peace, but there's no time for that. We need to talk about this bracket for round 2. We saw in round 1 that there was a lot of potential, but I think now we really get to show the difference between the good players and the great players. What do you think?
I definitely think that Chapachop made some really great plays using his Dredgelord deck. I'll surely be rooting for him in the next match. Tall Guy has also made some outstanding plays, although he got a couple misplays on that last match. Got me feeling a bit skeptical.
I think it should be a really interesting one because, as you said, both players, they did play well, but both Chapachop and Tall Guy require a lot of setup in order to get anything done. And both players will be playing cards like crazy on each of their turns to try and set up. I think it's just a matter of who gets a better hand at this point.
Well, that's going to be an issue because using the Big Baker, Chapachop can start off with any hand that he likes, really. So it might just be a very close match, or who knows, it might be a blowout. We don't know.
Yeah, well, speaking of Chapachop and Tall Guy, we got to speak with Chapachop after his first match. Let's take a look at that now. Hey guys, it's me, Sukis, here with Chapachop. Congratulations, by the way, for making it into the semifinals. How do you feel going into the semifinals?
Pretty cocky.
Okay, very good answer. Short and straight to the point. You're looking kind of scary. Well, are you feeling confident going into your next match?
Yes, I am.
Okay, very good, very good. You love to see the confidence. It's very important to keep that kind of mentality when dealing with, such a high-stakes situation such as this. Card games can be very, very intense, and they are not children's games. They are for adults only, and only for adults. If you are a child and you play card games, put it down. Anyways, what were your thoughts during the first round?
Well, my thoughts during the first round, I was really hoping that I would have some competition, but it was pretty light, so I'm hoping that the rest come with some aggression.
Very good answer. And I have one final question for you. What was the strategy like during the first round, and has anything changed now that you're going into the second?
My strategy during the first round, it was mostly just pushing as soon as possible, and that's what I'm going to keep doing.
Very, very good. Thank you guys so much, and thank you, Chapachop, for this interview. And I can't wait to see what you do in the second round. Thank you guys again. I'll see you guys soon. Looks like Chapachop is very confident after that first match against Trevo. What do you think?
I think he's feeling, as he says, a bit cocky. Hopefully that energy persists. I think as long as he maintains that energy, he might have a fighting chance.
Yeah, the way he's talking about it was as if, the first round was really just a speed bump, and now he's ready to go full throttle into the rest of this tournament.
I think he's got a strategy down, and now he's just trying to perfect it.
That is true. I agree with you there. However, I'm not sure how long that cockiness will last. After he sees what his opponent could potentially do to him.
That's a fair argument to make, but I guess time will tell.
Yes, but some people don't realize that with Proto Jammer, he's specifically curated his deck into something that we've never really seen before. Most of these decks have a theoretical maximum damage of around 80 or 90 damage, but Proto Jammer's theoretical maximum is quite literally unlimited. I tried to do the math, but it's just not possible to calculate such a deck like that.
I do understand where you're coming from for this, but I definitely think that you're undercutting Dredgelord a little bit. If played right, the Dredgelord, you could have him out on your second or third turn, and it's really just staggering to have to defend from that much damage taken at once.
That is true, but then again, the more cards that Dredgelord plays, it allows Proto Jammer to play even more cards, and it just becomes a huge snowball effect to the point where Proto Jammer also has the opportunity to be completely set up by the second or third turn.
That is true, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
That is true. Speaking of Proto Jammer, we also got to speak to Tall Guy right after his match. Let's see what he had to say. Hey guys, it's me, Sukis, again, back here with Tall Guy after the first round has concluded. Congratulations, by the way, for making it past the first round against Mike. That was very, very impressive.
Yeah, it was interesting to say in the beginning, so I wasn't sure in my ability at first, but I got my setup with my hand. It took a little bit of time. Mike was a little bit unaware of his own playbook, not to say that I had a playbook, but all respect to everybody around the table in each game, of course, but I was able to capitalize on that, having been meaningful and mindful of what my strongest cards are, that Proto Jammer and Aimbot. So capitalize off of that, and so forth. There was the first round, and then the second one, he choked, unfortunately. It happens, but so I got a free win from that, so I can just be thankful for that he unfortunately had that mishap, that series of misfortunate plays on his behalf and whatnot. But other than that, it went better than I expected, for sure.
Very nice, very nice. How does it feel getting into the semifinals?
I am a bit, unsure, because the other contenders, is I feel like they have a whole lot more knowledge of their decks than I do, and that's only fair. But I only see how we go from there. But I'm confident I can work something out. I feel like I can mangle something. But other than that, I don't know what to expect.
Okay, very good, very good. So what was going through your mind during that first round?
To be honest, I was thinking, I was thinking I didn't have it, to be honest. And I was like, in the way because I thought Mike had it up on me in terms of knowledge on the game. But as the game progressed, I was like, okay, yeah, as time went forward, and nothing crazy was really happening. He wasn't really attacking too much, nor was I. So I just built my hand up and just was patient. At first, I didn't think I had it, but as it went on, I was like, yeah, I got it. I got that confidence to say. It paid off.
I got one last question for you. I want to know, what was your strategy like during the first round, and has anything changed now that you're going into the second?
My strategy is honestly the same, just to play my key cards, and I probably will have to reform it going on and study my deck a little bit more, because I can't just go based off of those two. But yeah, that's my strategy as of right now, but I do need to change it, because if I lose those other cards, then what else do I got? So I gotta learn something else. So yeah, my strategy most definitely will change around that.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the second round.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing what I'll do as well. It'll be quite a little adventure.
Well, all right, guys. That's it for Tall Guy. Can't wait to see what he does in the second round. Should be very interesting. See you guys soon. Welcome, everybody, to round 2 of the 2023 Grotto Beast Pro League. And it looks like we're getting straight into it. here comes Tall Guy, the first contestant. He had a very impressive performance in the first round. Let's take a look at those round 1 stats. His average setup time was 4 turns, and his average damage dealt was 15, with the most damage being 24. His final score ended up being 2-0, but you gotta remember that Mike had so many misplays, it could have an effect on the end result. But we're just gonna have to see after this match. He looks calm and collected, just waiting for his opponent. Waving to the crowd. He loves the fans. It sounds like his opponent is about to come out. Here comes Chapachop playing Turbo Lord. Let's take a look at those round 1 stats. Average setup time was 2 turns, and his average damage was 24, with the highest being 30. The final score was 2-0. Very, very impressive statistics coming from Chapachop. And I can't wait to see how he does in this first game of the second round against Tall Guy. If you don't remember what challengers they played, Chapachop was playing the Big Baker, which will allow him to search his deck for his starting hand at the very beginning, which is going to be very, very helpful for Dredgelord to stay consistent and win as fast as he can. And he only has to score 13 to win, which is not a lot considering that Dredgelord can do 8 base damage. And Tall Guy's challenger was Abacus 1.0, and the whole thing with Abacus is whenever a beast or grotto he has in play is discarded, he will be able to move any number of cards attached to it onto any number of other beasts or grottos he has in play. And that's going to be very helpful with Proto Jammer, because Proto Jammer will need those wishes on attached to Proto Jammer at all times. So if one gets knocked out, then he can just move those cards onto another with no problem. Chapachop already finding his starting hand, and he's going to ask if he wants to cut or tap. Tall Guy drawing his 6 cards, and I think they're ready to play rock paper scissors. Chapachop just organizing what he's going to do first. Let's see. Scissors to paper. So
you get to go first.
Chapachop letting Tall Guy know that he gets to go first. So Tall Guy is going to start by drawing. And we're going to see how this goes. He does have a Proto Jammer in his hand. That is very important. If he can get that Proto Jammer out as fast as possible, that's always the best option here. Unfortunately, he will be allowing Chapachop to have more cards in his hand, which is more stuff that he can play. But at this point, he doesn't necessarily have a choice. He kind of just has to do it anyways. Because without Proto Jammer, interesting play. He's gonna play Starbit Cluster for 3, which is gonna allow him to draw 4 cards. But without that Proto Jammer, his deck will not function properly. So he kind of just has to bite the bullet and summon it anyways, regardless of how many cards it gives to Chapachop.
Are you Starbit Cluster for 3?
Chapachop is going to go ahead and summon that Starbit Cluster for 3 and draw 6 cards because he used the other 2 along with it.
Clip that.
He's going to play that Clip That. Force Tall Guy to put the top 3 cards of his deck into his summoning pool.
Book of Wonder for 2.
Chapachop's going to play that Book of Wonder for 2, which will let him search his deck for a Wish or Grotto and put it into his hands.
Song of Protection.
He's going to go ahead and grab that Song of Protection. Our cameras are a little bit out of sync here. Sorry about that. Hopefully it gets better later on. Sum up with the lights there. He's going to go ahead and summon that Dredgelord for 4. So now he's going to have to attach 5 cards onto Dredgelord. And Dredgelord won't be able to attack until he gets those cards off of him. There's something seriously up with the lights. Our deepest apologies.
I'm going to use Song of Protection on Dredgelord.
He's going to use that Song of Protection on Dredgelord and pass. Song of Protection makes Dredgelord immune to any card effects that Tall Guy may use during his next turn. Once again, I apologize for all the technical difficulties here. We believe it has something to do with what previously happened with Biggie Cheese and Esteban. Or, sorry, he who shall not be named and Esteban. After what happened to Lushmiki. I was told not to mention his name. So I will refrain from using his name from now on. As we can see, it's Tall Guy's turn. I'm not quite sure what he's gonna do. He's looking through his cards right now. He's trying to figure out what he's gonna play. But I have a feeling he's gonna play that Proto Jammer. That would honestly be the best play to make in my honest opinion. Because that Dredgelord being out is an automatic threat to Chapachop.
Summoning my Proto Jammer for 5.
And he's going to go ahead and summon that Proto Jammer for 5. When summoned, he may attach any number of wishes from his hand face up onto Proto Jammer. And during any of his action phases, he can rest Proto Jammer and use one of the wishes attached to him for free. And they are not discarded, they stay attached to Proto Jammer. It does give Chapachop 5 more cards to play around with, but I'm not sure if Tall Guy really cares that much. still Tall Guy's turn. Not quite sure what he's going to play here. But he's going to have to think of something fast. Chapachop looking calm and collected over there. He's not worried about anything that Tall Guy is going to play. Look at his face. He does not care at all. And he's going to play a Sneak Thief. And so Tall Guy's going to get to discard something from Chapachop's hand. Hopefully he makes the right decision here. If he's been paying attention at all in the first round, I would personally discard Skeld's Factory from him. We already know that he's going to have one from his starting hand. You can see it's one of the options for him, of course.
Get rid of your clip that.
He decides to get rid of his clip that instead. Not sure if that was the best play in the world, but I feel like Tall Guy has something under his sleeve if he's that confident to use to get rid of the clip that instead. He's going to pass the turn to Chapachop. So now Chapachop, I believe he's probably going to play that Skeld's Factory.
Skeld's Factory for 3.
He does in fact play that Skeld's Factory. Any beasts or next to Skeld's Factory, he can remove a card, attach to it, and put it into his hand, or attach a card face down from his hand to that beast.
Use the Open Geode for 1.
He's going to use an Open Geode for 1. Open Geode's going to let him look at the top 4 cards of his deck, and then he gets to put 1 into his hand, and he'll be able to put the other 3 back on top of his deck in any order that he wants. So it looks like he's going to grab that. I'm not sure what he grabbed there.
Book of Wonder for 2.
He's going to play a Book of Wonder for 2. That's going to let him search his deck for any Wish or Grotto that he wants. He's going to be able to put into his hand. He's going to grab that Frog Slap. With that Frog Slap, he's going to be able to misplay. He didn't play the Frog Slap. And it looks like Tall Guy's going to get a misplay there, grabbing cards out of his summoning pool before Chapachop plays the card. Truly unfortunate. But with that Frog Slap, he's going to be able to remove cards off of Dredgelord with ease. He has 2 Song of Protections there.
Open Geode for 1.
Looks like he's going to use another Open Geode. Or not. I think he was just discarding it. He's going to play a Frog Slap for 2.
Protection on Dredgelord, and it's your turn.
He's going to play that Song of Protection onto Dredgelord, and he's passing the turn over to Tall Guy. Now let's see what Tall Guy does during this turn.
Summon my aimbot for 4.
He's going to summon that aimbot for 4. When attacking or defending, roll a 6-sided die. Aimbot gains power equal to the number that he rolls. That's going to be very important. And as we've seen in Tall Guy's first game, that those JBAs on that aimbot were a force to be reckoned with. Tall Guy's just
I'm gonna use my Pearl Jammer.
taking his time there.
My aimbot.
He's going to use JBA. He gets to choose a beast or challenger, and it doubles its power.
Metro. Wakes him back up.
Plays down that metronomatone.
Use him again. JBA. On my
If he
aimbot.
summoned a wish this turn, he gets to wake up a resting beast, thanks to metronomatone. He's going to use that JBA again onto aimbot. I hope he realizes that his aimbot has summoning sadness, so all this effort is likely for nothing here. He's gonna rest that Proto Jammer, use JBA again.
I will be playing Energizing Drink for 2.
Gonna play that energizing drink for 2. He gets to choose a beast that he has in play, and if it's resting, it wakes back
I
up.
will then use my Pearl Jammer once more for a 3rd time.
He's gonna use a
for
3rd JBA
aimbot.
onto that aimbot, but it has summoning sadness.
Attack using.
Misplay. He's getting a misplay.
Aimbot cannot attack, he has summoning sadness.
I did just summon him. Damn.
And the referee does call him out before he makes an attack. Truly unfortunate. That was a lot of effort into that one play. He's just going to have to pass it over to Chapachop because he utilized almost all his resources making that one play. That is truly unfortunate.
Frog Slap for 2.
He's going to play a Frog Slap for 2, so then he can get that last card off of Dredgelord. He's going to move that Dredgelord forward. He's trying to decide on what kind of play he's going to make.
+2 on Dredgelord.
He's going to use +2 on Dredgelord. +2 is going to allow him to choose a beast, and it gains 2 power until the end of his turn.
On Dredgelord for 6.
He's going to play that JBA for 6. And so now he's going to be able to attack for 22, I believe.
I'm going to attack for 22.
He does attack for 22.
And I'll defend with everybody.
He has to roll something good here in order to stay alive. He rolls a 6.
6, 7, 8, 9,
That's
10. So you score 12.
Putting Chapachop 1 away from winning. That is quite terrifying. Wow. If Tall Guy would have even rolled a 5, that would have been it. But by the luck of some shit, I don't know, just by his own pure luck, he manages to roll that 6, and he lives by 1, just by a thread. And Chapachop passes to Tall Guy. So now Tall Guy is going to be able to make a play here. Hopefully we get to see him make some sort of comeback.
Gonna summon up aimbot for 4.
He's going to summon that aimbot for 4. He needs to try and get that Dredgelord out of here. It doesn't have Song of Protection activated onto it. So I'm wondering if Tall Guy has like a tactical rocket launcher or like an Intimidate. Anything to keep that Dredgelord away for as long as possible. If he can discard that Dredgelord, he buys himself at least another 3 turns.
I'm going to play my emergency rescue.
He's going to play that emergency rescue. So he's going to be able to shuffle a card and you know, each of the copies in his discard pile back into his deck.
Reclaim my aimbot.
He's going to grab aimbot and shuffle aimbot back into his deck. He only has the 1 aimbot though, so he's not really utilizing emergency rescue to its fullest potential. Shuffling his deck. He's taking his time just to make sure that he doesn't make any wrong moves. It looks like Chapachop is going to cut.
Gonna summon up a Metro.
Tall Guy summoning up a Metronomatone to wake up that Proto Jammer. I'm curious to see why he would do that.
One of my Proto Gem, I'll be using JBA and aimbot.
Uh-oh. I don't think Tall Guy learned his lesson quite yet. That aimbot has Summoning Sadness. He just summoned that aimbot this turn. Hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake as last time.
I'm gonna summon up another Metro.
He's going to summon another Metronomatone for 2. I'm afraid
I'm gonna use him once more. Use JBA for a third time on my aimbot.
he is in fact going to do that JBA again onto
And I will
aimbot.
attack using my defender. And
Warning. Aimbot has summoning sadness.
oh my lord,
This is your only warning.
He did not learn his lesson. Attempting to attack with the aimbot, even with the summoning sadness. This is the second turn in a row that he's unfortunately made this mistake. He's going to pass it over to Chapachop. All Chapachop needs to do is score one card to win.
Book of Wonder for 2.
As long as he can do more than 12 damage, he's guaranteed to win. He's grabbing that JBA. He wants there to be 0 chance, because aimbot can roll up to 6 damage, and the 2 metronomatones and the abacus equate up to 6. So Tall Guy can defend with 12 theoretically. So as long as Chapachop can do 13 damage, then he's guaranteed to win.
I'm going to use Eat It Up for 1 on Dredgelord.
He's going to use that Eat It Up, put Dredgelord up to 9. Right now he's able to do 11 damage in total, including the Big Baker.
JBA on Dredgelord.
And he's going to use that JBA for 6 to double Dredgelord's damage output. Going from 9 to 18. He can do a maximum of 20 damage here.
Now I'm going to attack for 20.
And that is it. There's no chance of him blocking that.
He has to score one more to win.
oh my lord, bro.
I believe the referee's letting him
I don't
know.
have a chance, do I?
No.
No, so yeah, I'll go ahead and just round 1 is you.
Game 1 goes to Chapachop. The current score is 1-0.
Wow. That is truly, truly, truly unfortunate. Hopefully Tall Guy can pull it together in the second game. Looks like Tall Guy is shuffling his deck. Chapachop looking for his starting hand there. The ideal starting hand for Dredgelord seems to be 3 Starbit clusters, a Dredgelord, a Skelch Factory, and a Clip That. Being able to play those 3 Starbit clusters at once to draw 6 cards at the beginning of your turn seems to be very helpful in being able to do anything, because he just has so many cards available to him. Chapachop taking the time to optimize his own playstyle. Same with Tall Guy, honing in his own playstyle. But I think in this case, Chapachop is a little bit more of a seasoned player than Tall Guy is, which is why we're seeing the results that we're seeing. As Lushmiki and Sukis as Sukis and Denton X said earlier, this round we're going to see the difference between the good players and the great players. And I think this match is a prime example so far. Not trying to throw shade towards Tall Guy, but that first game really proved, why Chapachop is, here in the semifinals. And we haven't really gotten to see Tall Guy shine just yet. But I'm sure he has a plan in place and he's ready to pull it back. They're playing rock, paper, scissors. Tall Guy struggling to figure out what card he's going to play. They both get paper, so they're going to have to play again. They both get rock. Another tie. Gonna have to play again, it seems. There's been a lot of ties throughout this entire event. It's actually quite incredible.
You go first, my boy.
Alright.
And Tall Guy wins the rock, paper, scissors play and is letting Chapachop go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan.
Alright.
This is garbage.
Tall Guy is going to mulligan first. He's just going to shuffle his hand back into his deck. Hoping for a new hand. He doesn't want to mulligan too many times because that's just going to allow Chapachop to draw more cards, which will fuel that Dredgelord deck to the max. So Tall Guy, he's going to want to keep those mulligans to a minimum. But we'll see. It all depends on how his hand is looking like. He's going to go ahead and draw brand new 6 cards here. He looks like he's okay with his hand.
Starbit cluster for 3.
He's going to use that Starbit cluster with 2 other Starbit clusters, so he's going to go ahead and draw 6 cards. A little bit of confusion on Tall Guy's part. He's supposed to draw 3 cards, not put 3 into his summoning pool. And Chapachop, he's drawing his 6 cards from those Starbit clusters. He's going to have a lot more cards to play with now. He's going to use that clip that. Now Tall Guy has to put 3 cards from his deck into his summoning pool. We're just waiting to see what Chapachop decides to do here.
Book of Wonder for 2.
He's going to go ahead and play that Book of Wonder for 2 and search his deck for a Wish or Grotto of his choice and put it into his hand.
And then Song of Protection.
He's going to grab that Song of Protection. It's going to be very useful for Dredgelord. Takes a lot of setup to get one Dredgelord up and running. So that Song of Protection, being able to prevent any effects from the opponent's cards to bother Dredgelord is always very, very important. Especially with the amount of setup Dredgelord needs. He's going to go ahead and summon that Dredgelord for 4. He's going to have to attach 5 cards face down onto Dredgelord.
Song of Protection on Dredgelord, and it's your turn.
He's going to play that Song of Protection and pass. It's like a robot playing. Almost the exact same first turn as the first game. And, that just goes to show how much practice Chapachop really put in. His deck is just so consistent. He knows exactly what he's going to do every turn. And he seems to do it without fail every time. Tall Guy playing that Book of Wonder. He's going to look for his own wish or grotto of his choice and put it into his hand. We're hoping to see Tall Guy really pull it back, especially after that first game. That first game was really, really, really bumpy there.
Pulling a Song of Protection.
It looks like he's going to grab a Song of Protection of his own. Tall Guy is really just making sure that he's taking his time here. He doesn't want to rush into things so that he doesn't make any mistakes or makes a play that he shouldn't have. Chapachop is going to go ahead and cut. He clearly doesn't trust Tall Guy's shuffle. I think Chapachop has some sort of issue with Tall Guy. I'm not quite sure. Chapachop just sitting there like an evil villain, while Tall Guy is contemplating his next move.
Aimbot for 4.
He's going to go ahead and play that aimbot 3940 for 4. When attacking or defending, he gets to roll a 6-sided die, and aimbot gains power equal to the result on the die. That's going to be very, very helpful. Hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake as last game, attempting to attack with aimbot while aimbot still has Summoning Sadness. That would be disappointing to say the least, because I'm fairly certain Tall Guy would have won the game if he would have just waited a little bit longer. But as I already said, this round is going to separate the good players from the great players. So depending on who comes out on top, is going to define who is a good or great player. Tall Guy has plenty of cards there to work with. Still carefully deciding what to play next. I believe he's going to play
Sneak Thief for 3.
He's going to go ahead and use that Sneak Thief for 3. So he's going to look at Chapachop's hand, and he's going to decide what card he wants to discard from his hand. He's taking a good peek at that Skeld's Factory. that would be that would be a big pain for Chapachop if you were to get rid of that Skeleton Factory, especially if Chapachop can't get a hold of another one. He's taking a real close look at that Skeleton Factory. Probably one of his bigger threats right now.
He ready to Book of Wonder.
Instead, gets rid of the Book of Wonder. He may be trying to prevent Chapachop from finding another Song of Protection, because he knows if he can prevent...
I'll use my Song of Protection, my aim bot.
He's going to play a Song of Protection of his own, but if he can prevent Chapachop from playing a Song of Protection, then he'll be able to get rid of that Dredgelord with ease. He's going to pass the turn over to Chapachop, and we're going to see what Chapachop does this turn. Looks like he has 2 Skeleton Factories in his hands, which is probably also why he didn't get rid of the Skeleton Factory in the first place. Just keep in mind, he does have...
Skeleton Factory for 3.
He's going to play that Skeleton Factory. Skeleton Factory is going to let him remove a card from Dredgelord and put it into his hand once per turn. But yeah, keep in mind that Dredgelord no longer has Summoning Sadness, so if he manages to remove the other 4 cards off of Dredgelord this turn, then that could be catastrophic for Tall Guy. He's going to use that Open Geode. He's going to let him look at the top 4 cards of his deck. He's going to put one into his hand and put the others back on top of his deck in any order. And I think he grabbed the Frog Slap there, which is going to be helpful for getting rid of cards on Dredgelord.
I'm going to do Frog Slap for 2.
And he did. And he's going to play that Frog Slap for 2. And he's going to remove 2 cards off of Dredgelord. Now there are 2 more cards remaining on Dredgelord. It'd be interesting to see if he can figure out a way to remove those other 2 cards this turn. He's going to play Eat It Up for 1 onto the Dredgelord. He's probably doing that just so he can draw an extra card.
Open Geode for 1.
He's going to go ahead and play an Open Geode for 1. That Open Geode, he's going to look at the top 4 cards of his deck. He's going to put 1 into his hand, and the other 3 are going to be put back in any order that he wants.
Song of Protection on Dredgelord, and it's your turn.
He doesn't manage to find another Frog Slap, but he does find a Song of Protection, and he plays that on Dredgelord and passes. This does close the window of opportunity for Tall Guy to get rid of that Dredgelord. So now Tall Guy's going to have to do something else here. Tall Guy is going to play that Proto Jammer. And remember, when summoned, he gets to attach as many wishes from his hand face up onto Proto Jammer. Then during his action phases, he can rest Proto Jammer and play one of those wishes free of cost. It's going to be very, very useful here for Tall Guy. However, some of the wishes that were attached to Proto Jammer are a little bit questionable. He has a -2 and an energizing drink attached. That -2 isn't going to be any help here, as his Dredgelord does have Song of Protection. So he's going to have to think of something else to do here. Looks like he may be a little bit stumped here.
Use the -2 power on your defender.
He's going to use -2, but -2 does not work on challengers. It only works on beasts there.
That would count as a misplay. -2 only works on beasts, not challengers.
Tall Guy's going to get a misplay there. -2, very interesting card. If he wanted to, he could use -2 over and over and over again and get anybody's beast down to 0 power. Which is the ultimate way to buy time if none of them can attack at all. He's going to go ahead and pass to Chapachop. Chapachop's going to take 1 off of Dredgelord because of Skeleton Factory. He has plenty of cards to work with there. His other remaining Dredgelords are in his hand. He has a tactical rocket launcher. He has 2 clip that's. There's plenty of options here.
Tactical rocket launcher for 3.
He's going to go ahead and use that tactical rocket launcher for 3. He's going to be able to choose a beast an opponent has, and he's going to be able to discard it. He chooses the aimbot 3940. I'm surprised he didn't pick that Proto Jammer, probably because the Proto Jammer won't be able to attack for very much.
Eat it up on Dredgelord.
He's going to use that Eat It Up on Dredgelord. Dredgelord gains 1 power. He's going to get to draw a card.
I'm gonna use the clip that.
He's going to use Clip That for 3, or for 0, and Tall Guy's going to have to put 3 cards from the top of his deck into his summoning pool. He does pass over to Tall Guy. Something going on with the lights there. We still believe it has something to do with He Who Shall Not Be Named. Tall Guy just making sure He's taking his time, just to make sure that he's making the right play here. Sorry if I'm messing up a little bit. I'm just a little bit on edge, after what happened with Shmiki. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get over it. He was a good friend of mine, and now he's gone. Tall Guy's gonna go ahead and play a frog slap for 2. I'm not sure if it's gonna be to remove something. Nope, he's going to go ahead and attach a wish. He's gonna try and attach 2. I believe frog slap will only let him attach 1.
And frog slap only permits you to attach 1 card face up to a beast.
I was right. The referee caught it too. Gave him a warning. So now he can't make any other mistakes or else he'll get a penalty. Tall Guy just kind of sitting there, minding his own business, just like Lushmiki was before he was brutally murdered via an explosion in his house. I think we all know what happened there, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. You live to forget these kind of things. I'd like to say Lushmiki is going to be remembered, but I'm trying my hardest to forget.
Two of your Dredgelord's power.
He's going to go ahead and use that -2 onto Dredgelord. Chapachop didn't play a Song of Protection on his Dredgelord.
For 2.
And he's going to play a Metronomatone to potentially wake up that Proto Jammer and do it again. Dredgelord's power going from 8 to 6 in an instant. This could be a problem for Chapachop. It's now Chapachop's turn. Dredgelord is ready to attack. We're going to see what he does here. With only 6 power, that does tone down what he can do by a lot.
Use Eat It Up on Dredgelord for 1.
He's going to go ahead and use an Eat It Up, bring him up to 7. He's going to draw an extra card.
JBA on Dredgelord for 6.
He's going to go ahead and use JBA. Bring Dredgelord up to 14. He can do a maximum of 16. That won't be enough to win quite yet, though. If he attacks now, he can only attack for 16. The Tall Guy will be able to defend with 4, which would put him 1 away from winning again.
I'm going to attack for 16.
He does opt to attack for 16.
Defend for 4.
He's going to defend for 4 and block Chapachop from getting that 1 win, or that 1 large attack to win in one move. So, like, even if Tall Guy isn't able to pull it back, you've got to admit it's quite impressive that Tall Guy is able to stall Chapachop's ability to dish out those big numbers to get those really swift wins. Gonna pass to Tall Guy. We gotta see how Tall Guy is gonna try and pull this one back. There's not much that he can do. He may be better off resorting to attacking with Proto Jammer. That's certainly something I would do. It's honestly better than being a sitting duck. If he uses that energizing drink on Proto Jammer, it'll wake itself up, and then if he attacks, he won't have to rest him. So that could be a recipe for disaster for Chapachop if Tall Guy does do that.
Use my emergency rescue to get my aimbot back out.
He's going to go ahead and use emergency rescue, and he's going to use it to shuffle aimbot back into his deck. He only has the 1. And he will shuffle that 1 back into his deck.
Play my Sneak Thief.
Gonna go ahead and play a Sneak Thief for 3 to look at Chapachop's hand and discard something from it. Hopefully he can find something there that will really slow down Chapachop and really prevent him from winning on his next turn. Because if he doesn't do something now, Chapachop will win on his next turn. Taking a good look at his hand, you can see a JBA +2, a Starbit. Very powerful cards that he can use during his next turn to not only draw the cards that he needs, but also attack with a lot of damage. Getting rid of the JBA might be the wisest play to do here. We'll just have to see if Tall Guy and I are, if we share the same wavelength. No, instead he's going to get rid of that Starbit cluster, cutting off Chapachop's, drawing power and ability to draw cards. really taking his time here. He wants to maintain a level head so then he can not make any wrong moves here.
Intimidate. Move your dredge to the side now.
He's going to play that Intimidate for 2. Intimidate, he gets to choose a beast on an opponent's team, and they have to move it to the sideline. And that beast won't be able to return to the team for 2 turns. So during Chapachop's next turn, he won't be able to bring that Dredgelord back. Only on his next turn after that will he be able to bring it back to the team. So it looks like Tall Guy just bought himself 1 extra turn. And we'll just have to see how he handles it. As I said, he could always start attacking with that Proto Jammer. But I'm not sure if he wants to go down that route. But he may have to.
And use my Proto Jammer to knock his power down by 2. His Dredgelord.
He's instead going to use that -2 on Dredgelord again. However, there's no point considering he bought himself time already.
I will summon a Metra.
He's going to use a
Wake him
Metronomatone
back up.
to wake up a Proto
Do that
Jammer.
same thing against the Dredgelord again, negating his power by another 2.
He's going to use another +2. Really, really strange play considering Dredgelord is going to be stuck there for a little bit. So now his Dredgelord only has 4 power, but it doesn't matter because he can't even use it until his next turn. After this turn, or after his upcoming turn. How many cards do you have in your hand?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Let's play. Just card a card from your hand, please. Looks like Chapachop, he just drew and passed. And he got a misplay for having too many cards in his hand. So now Tall Guy, he's going to have to figure out what he's going to do here. Now that Chapachop just drew and passed. So then he can get that Dredgelord back in action as fast as he can. Not quite sure what Tall Guy's
I'm
doing
going to
here.
use my Proto Jammer and step away 2 of his power.
Tall Guy is going to use -2 on Dredgelord again. Very smart play coming from Tall Guy. Just reducing the amount of damage he can do. He's going to pass over to Chapachop, and that Intimidate has now worn off. And so Chapachop is able to move.
JBA for 6 on Dredgelord.
Uh-oh. He did that JBA for 6.
I'm going to attack for 14.
And that's game over for Tall Guy. Chapachop getting a final score of 26. He will be heading into the finals.